Good Monday morning and welcome to Zakiya Larry Live. Today is going to be really, really interesting. You know why? Because, like all of my shows, but this is all about you. This is about listener call-ins because today's topic is bullying from the White House to the schoolhouse. Because, listen, I have questions. My questions are we able to effectively eliminate bullying in schools if people are saying the commander-in-chief of the United States is the biggest bully that they know? So are these opinions? Are these facts? Are we seeing a trickle-down effect? It may not be economics, but is it a trickle-down effect in behavior? And so we're going to unpack that at different levels. Because people have experienced bullying in corporate arenas. They experienced it as children. And so I want to get into the why behind some of these actions, what that looks like. And at the end of the day, it's about hearing from you, hearing your stories. What were your experiences with bullying? How does that affect you? And of course, we're going to have on the show, if you've been watching some of our promos, licensed family therapist Stephanie D. Miller, because she'll be able to talk to us about how bullying has affected not only patients and families she's worked with, but how you can spot it in your own life. And I just want to know if this word is overused. So anyway, October is National Bullying Awareness Month, and we're going to be unpacking this. Today's topic is bullying from the White House to the schoolhouse. And we're getting into everything from Trump to NFL players being called out of their names and kids acting crazy in school. There's so many layers to this. So make sure you weigh in on what you think is happening in the White House, in the schoolhouses, at your workplace as it relates to bullying. Call me at 832-230-5592. That's Zakiya Larry Live. We're talking about bullying, White House to the schoolhouse, 832-230-5592. So before we get into that, of course, I want to say good morning to Stephanie Miller, and she has on this gorgeous purple, and she has these pink fuchsia glasses. You're kind of in Zakiya Larry Live brand colors, though. Wait a minute. Oh, my goodness. I feel like you have excellence all over. I'm kind of excited.
It's just a mind thing. Am I on? Can they hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Good. Thank you for hanging in here with us and tackling this topic.
It is a topic.
Yeah.
I was listening to the news on the way over here. Mm-hmm. We can't get away from this, can we?
I don't think we can. And I think for a while we thought this was maybe a passing fad. We would hear the word bullying and we would think, okay, well, maybe people are being a bit sensitive. But it's really unfolding in so many ways. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get into that, get into those headlines and what that looks like. So, what I like to do, though? I like to make sure we have a little levity and gravity. So, it's time for my favorite segment, Wait What?
Wait, what?
So, I was in town for quite a while. Well, no, a couple of days. Because it was homecoming weekend for Texas Southern University. Woohoo! Proud graduate, Miss TSU, debate team, dance team, all that good stuff. So, I bleed maroon and gray. And so, you catch up with a lot of people, and everybody looks different. It's been a couple of years since undergrad.
3?
Maybe 2 times.
5 tops, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Gotcha.
So it's been a little while. And so you see people. Okay, so here's my wait what, right? Because we're talking about bullying, and a big part of bullying includes people's words to you and how those land on you. So here's the thing. I'm not saying I was bullied at homecoming. I'm saying I had to wait what. Some stuff was said, and I couldn't decide how I felt about it. So here's my quick story. I was reconnecting with this gentleman that I went to undergrad with, and he was very complimentary, and he was saying, after a while of really positive things, he's been following what we've been doing here with Synergy Radio Network, and so he goes, the thing about you, Z, is that you look really, really high maintenance, but you're probably not. It's like, wait, what?
Oh.
Wait, what? Like, is that a compliment? Yeah. Was I being bullied? I don't. Who says that?
Yeah, that was
odd.
That was bullying.
A little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Because it was a thinly veiled compliment.
Oh, you look good, but
is that what
high maintenance?
To say? Because that has negative connotations to it.
I was negative.
Yeah.
It's that's passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive. So bullying can have kind of passive aggressive. Even though I know this particular person didn't mean it that way. However, that's not an uncommon thing. That sort of passive aggressive bullying in workplaces too. I've experienced a lot of passive aggressive bullying.
Well, he probably did not mean it that way,
right.
but why was it necessary to say that you look like you're high maintenance?
Right.
Why couldn't he say, wow, girl, you're talking about when I see you, I see excellence, bam,
Ooh,
all over the
yes.
place.
You should do a book of pickup lines.
Yeah, see, that's...
I appreciate
But
you.
see, it's totally different, but
Right.
high maintenance. and-
Absolutely.
yeah, and it could be, now, okay. Back in the day, I would say, oh, he didn't know any better.
Sure.
Yeah, he knew.
So, passive-aggressive bullying, that's a thing. So
Yeah.
have you had a wait what? Has somebody said something crazy and that made you say, wait, what was I?
Wait, what?
Girl, please. Yes.
Okay, give us a quick little rundown. What have they been out here doing to our licensed family therapist? I can't believe this.
Well, they try.
They tried it.
But, I have a mama.
Okay.
She's gone on, but my mom was the type knew how to cut with her tongue, and you can feel things. It's like, oh, you're smiling, but then it's like, oh, blood.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so my dad kind of went the other way in his latter years, so I'm just kind of in the middle.
You're in the middle, so we never know what to expect.
And then I grew up in the house with 3 brothers.
Oh,
So that's why I've learned how to handle the bullying.
Interesting. So that was our wait what for today.
Wait, what?
Say what?
Ken folks
What
will
is
do
happening?
it.
Make sure that you are tuning in. You can actually watch and listen to this show on my Facebook page. You can comment using hashtag ZLLive on your wait
Tell
what.
them, please do. Please
Absolutely.
do.
And please share this show because we are about to unpack some stuff. Now, the topic is from the White House to the schoolhouse, bullying.
Yeah.
Bullying. So, you know what? We're going to really tie in some headlines because, of course, what happened recently is 45 said that some NFL players were sons of bees and that they should be benched if they took a knee. I took issue with calling them out of their name in that moment, and especially being from the highest office in the land. And so I do understand that it's deeper than sticks and stones can break my bones. I mean, words have power. And when you're in a position of power, you empower those that look to you when it comes to how they behave. And so that's why I think bullying is so critical to talk about today because, like I said, October's National Bullying Awareness Month. So before we unpack some more headlines, I wanted to set context with that. And we have on the line someone who's going to share an incredible story with us. Ooh. I want to bring up Riley, and our phone lines are blowing up right now, which is so interesting.
Ooh,
so,
awesome.
Riley, do we have you here?
Riley.
Yes, I'm here.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. How are you?
We are very well. Riley, so you know our topic today, October's Bullying Awareness Month.
Yeah.
Do you have a bullying story or do you have an opinion about bullying? I mean, is it really real? Are people too soft? What's your story, Riley?
A little bit of both. So I'll start out with my opinion and then I'll move on into my story. My opinion is that bullying is absolutely real. People can be soft nowadays, not saying that they're not entitled to being soft. Because I've always told people it's not about how you say it, it's what you say in your delivery and what you're saying. However, let's just look at the big picture. When you have someone that's sitting in the highest office and he's a known bully, then it's going to trickle down. It affects everybody from schools to homes. It affects everyone. Let's take a little trip back when we had First Lady Michelle Obama in office, and her initiative was to get students to eating healthier. Okay. That trickled down from her to the schoolhouse, from the schoolhouse to parents. Now we have 45th sitting in office, and he's a big bully. He tweets, he talks about it, he doesn't hide it, and no one in this day and age, they're not hiding the fact that they're bullies. Now, some children are growing up and they are a little sensitive because they have every right to be sensitive. They don't come from households where they're being bullied. They don't come from neighborhoods where they're being bullied. So when they get this type of attention in schools and you see people are really bullies in school, it's like, well, what do I do? They're not just overly sensitive. They're sensitive to the subject of being bullied.
Gotcha.
On an everyday basis. No.
So you're saying it makes sense to take an attack personally. So have you had any instances of personal attacks that you've had to get through?
I do all the time, and I'm 30. And
All the
even at
time,
work,
and I'm 30. So unpack that for us. What all the time? What's going on out there, Riley?
So, for instance, I have two jobs. I work in financial aid for a community college here in Houston, HCC.
Okay.
Go Eagles. And I'm also a supervisor at Home Depot. And when people see me, they'll make comments like, "Oh, you're so pretty to be working here. Why do they have you working here? I didn't know they hired pretty girls at Home Depot." And I'm like,
What does
or
that
they'll
mean,
ask me
right?
for something that's located in the store, and I'm like, "It's on this aisle. Are you sure you know what you're talking about? Girls don't really know about this type of stuff." And I'm like,
So now we've got gender bias. We have thinly veiled compliments that are insults. Okay.
it's a lot that goes on. And like you, I've had, "Oh, she looks high maintenance, but she's probably cheap." Really, to be honest, I've had
Wow.
and it's I don't take it personally because I grew up with tough skin. I was bullied a lot in elementary and middle school. In high school, I came into my own, so I don't take it personal.
Right.
But I can tell when someone is trying to be a bully to me. But for me, my comebacks are so strong and so quick. It's like, let me not go there with her because she is going to make me bleed.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Riley, wow, that is so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. That was so many layers there, Riley. And we just love that you're a supporter of Zakiya Larry Live. So thank you.
Absolutely.
So please
No
stay
problem. You
tuned.
ladies have a great day.
Yes,
You too.
hope you too. You do as well. Stephanie, that's powerful. Several layers of bullying.
Yeah, and you know what? And one of the things that she said at one point in time, well, I'm strong, not really bullying. When we learn to accept certain things and we don't respond appropriately, we do what I call feed the beast.
Okay.
Because there's a certain way that you can carry yourself and you can respond where you can cut it off, like whatever. Say, for instance, she works in Home Depot.
Okay.
And then they'll say, "Oh, you look too pretty to work here." You can say, "Well, there's some, the management here at Home Depot are very professional and very smart. And they knew that I would be a real asset.
Absolutely.
What could I do to help you?" And you cut them off.
So, Stephanie, what I have learned through the years that often you do have to have a comeback, but I'm literally in a scenario right now where I'm talking through a particular a business partnership, and I really believe that there are scenarios in which you're just simply not respected because of a person's preconceived notions and their sort of the way they were raised or whatever frame of references that they have. And so in this particular scenario, I feel as if I'm always on the defense. And what I hear you saying is that you want to make sure that you have your own comebacks.
Yes.
It almost feels like you're always on the defense as well, and I find that I'm in that posture many times. One, to thwart bullying, as you're saying, but also to help people understand. I feel like it's very unfortunate that we often have to continue to try to validate who and what we are when what we offer is far superior than what exists. Like this woman's knowledge in Home Depot, you're here because you need me, right? But then people have something incredibly crazy to say. So, I think those are so many elements there. And when we come back, we're going to take some other calls. Alicia, make sure that you are hanging in there with us with Zakiya Larry Live. And when we come back, we're going to get into ways to have that personal comeback. But then we're also going to talk about NFL and bullying. Oh my gosh, how on earth should this affect the national conversation across the board? So make sure you hang in there. It's Zakiya Larry Live.
Zakiya Larry Live. Everybody has a past, so together we'll use all of it to unlock your purpose. It's about real life, real talk, real change. Welcome to Zakiya Larry Live.
Hey everybody, this is Chauncey Glover from ABC 13, and you're listening to Synergy 1480, where it all comes.
If you have ever wondered how to get your brand on the top shows on TV, radio, even the hottest blogs, if you've wondered if you even need a publicist and if there's a way to do it yourself, if you've ever wondered how to get your own show or need someone to look over your materials to make sure your brand is ready for elevation, I've got the perfect solution. Sign up today for my Master of the Media monthly coaching call for all of the answers and more. Go to ZakiyaLarry.com/coaching today.
In the past year, KYND became one of the fastest growing radio stations in the country. Well, we've outgrown our old home, and we're ready to take it to the next level.
We are now Synergy Radio.
More power.
All day, all night.
Wait, what?
Synergy Radio 1480, powered 24/7.
Can I tell you how excited we are?
We are powerful talk that inspires change.
That's where you're supposed to do it. That's where you're supposed to do it.
With transformational coaches ready to help you get to the next level.
You will find some things that speak to your soul.
Synergy Radio 1480 will continue to bring you all the voices you know and love.
Gotta have you here on the Yolanda Adams Morning Show.
This is Rashawn McDonald.
Welcome to the journey with Tiffany Smith.
Hello, my name is Les Brown.
I'm Paris Ely.
We're your hosts, Tristan and Cece.
This is Oscar Hines.
Hey, it's Zakiya Larry Live.
This is Nicole R. Coleman.
Hey, and I'm Tasha Evans.
This is the reality check, Dr. D. Yvonne Young.
Welcome back to the show. I'd like to shout out our live studio audience once again.
Tune in every day, 1480 a.m.
Are you ready for talk that inspires change?
Tune in to Synergy Radio 1480 in your car, in your house, or on any mobile device at synergyradionetwork.com.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
This is Jolanda Jones from I'ma Tell It. When you're not able to watch us live on your mobile device, be sure to stay connected to Synergy Radio 1480 anywhere in Houston, in your house, in your office, or in your car by tuning in to 1480 AM. Synergy Radio Network, where it all comes together.
If you have ever wondered how to get your brand on the
and happy life. For the health of it, visit us at 1302 North Shepherd in the Heights, or visit our website, HoustonChiroClinic.com, or call us at 713-868-6166. 713-868-6166.
This is Chauncey Glover from ABC 13. When you're not able to watch us live on your mobile device, be sure to stay connected to Synergy Radio 1480 anywhere in Houston, in your house, in your office, or even in your car by tuning in to 1480 AM, Synergy Radio Network, where it all comes together.
Welcome back to Zakiya Larry Live. Today we're talking bullying from the White House to the schoolhouse. Do we finally have a trickle-down effect, even if it's not economics? Is it bullying?
Yeah, we do.
Think so? You think so? So, and I know people have been saying that the commander-in-chief is the biggest bully, and there are others who say, you know, he just speaks his mind. And so we're going to get into some of the recent fallout with NFL players, but we had a caller who shared that even working at Home Depot, she experienced bullying when it comes to gender, when it comes to thinking that she's capable, even when it comes to her appearance.
Yes.
You know, so that could definitely be a level. We have on the line here Alicia, who wants to weigh in. Good morning.
Good morning.
Alicia, I am incredibly well. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well.
Alicia, do you have a bullying story, or do you think that we, you know, as a society, we're a little too dramatic when it comes to the concept of bullying? What do you think?
I don't have a personal bullying story, but I also don't necessarily think that bullying is a new thing. I think bullying has been around as long as humans have been around.
Sure.
I think what we're seeing is just an escalation of increased, accessibility to the bullying, especially when it comes to teenagers. So, I think during my time, like the 90s, you got bullied at school, you went home, and it was pretty much over with. Now you have your bullying has legs. It could be a social media viral video, or it can continue on forever in commentary online. And so what we're seeing is just an advancement of bullying, modernization. The same way technology has modernized, so has bullying.
Alicia, that's powerful, the modernization of bullying. And I think that's the key. To your point, I mean, there's nothing new. As a matter of fact, when I was in school, I was called Four Eyes. I've been wearing glasses since the first grade. Thanks, Mom and Dad. They combine those genes well. But I've been wearing glasses since the first grade. So I guess I didn't know it was called bullying then. They just said, oh, Zakiya was called names today. And then, like you said, you go home, you eat dinner, it's over, and you live.
You
to
play
fight
with your real
day.
friends. Yeah, you don't have to live through it. Whereas now it's most of it is online, and so what we're seeing is also online. That's the only way we know about these things. Things that are happening in Washington have been happening in Washington. We have increased accessibility to those things now. So these aren't new things, but they seem new to us because now all of a sudden we have all the access to it. And it seems like things are getting crazy and it's all out of hand, but it's really just our ability of knowing about it and seeing it, and I think in a more prevalent way than we ever have before because of social media and our access to seeing what's going on. We wouldn't know what's going on with celebrities and things that are happening to them to this magnitude. Back in the day, celebrities were just celebrities. You saw them on the movies. Right. Now we know their personal lives. We see them on the magazines, and it's just way more in detail.
Absolutely.
So it seems like it's more than it really is. But I also think, that being said, that the stakes are higher. So that teenager that could deal with bullying maybe 20 years ago, the stakes seem higher to her now. She may be more likely to commit suicide or think about suicide because I can't outlive this. How do I outlive this video that's viral? Right. How do I outlive these commentaries that I can't get past?
Absolutely.
So then we're seeing an increase in suicide amongst teenagers. Not that bullying is new, but I think the stakes are higher.
The stakes are higher, and the accessibility to the bullying is raised. Alicia, powerful angle there. Thank you for illuminating that for us here on Zakiya Larry Live. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having the conversation.
Yes, absolutely. Guys, if you want to join this conversation and drop some nuggets like Alicia and let us know what you think about bullying, please call us at 832-230-5592. Before we go to our next caller, Stephanie, Alicia brought up incredible points: accessibility, not being able to shake it. And it's been happening. It's not just about the White House. It's not just about bullying in the schoolhouse. It's just things are still happening, and we see more of it.
Right. Bullying is really about power. It's just like rape. You can think of it as psychological, verbal rape of sorts.
Wow. Yeah.
And part of it, I think even in the past, before we had the visibility of social media, really the family and extended family helped you deal with bullying by building up self-esteem. And see, there's other things into play now, is that we don't have strong units, and a lot of the younger people, they're at that age, they're not going to go to their parents and to the authority, they're going to go to their friends and peers. And so we know that social media is just a medium sometimes. Cyberbullying is real, and it's caused our government to have laws and do things differently. She also spoke about suicide. Suicide rates are up everywhere. Clergy, minority. It used to be we'd say as African Americans, we don't commit suicide. Yeah, we do. It's just the pressure from having all of this, and I believe especially with some of our black men and some of the others, there's a sense of hopelessness. So
let me to that point, a sense of hopelessness, because what I take issue with is that it's not that you're weak because you're affected by bullying. I think the human psyche can only take so much. That's why stress is a very real thing. Stress hospitalizes people. Stress causes anxiety, which also leads to mental breakdowns.
That's real.
So I think that what we can look at is bullying as a vehicle to a larger systematic breakdown.
Yes.
Different types of stress happen, and I think bullying, when it comes to work, and let's unpack what bullying is. I see it as, to your point, it's definitely a power move, but it is someone exerting their will, be it verbally or physically, over another to break that person in some kind of way and build and bend that other person's will.
That's right.
And I think that at some point, our shoulders are only broad enough to carry what we can carry.
You're
it
right.
doesn't mean that a person is weak if they succumb. It means that they've had enough. And how you express your having had enough can manifest in many different ways.
You know, and to Alicia's point, though, what I believe happened now that it's so bad, you know, we used to have maybe a little bully at school. Like, say, for instance, they would call you Four Eyes, and they would say I was skinny. Okay, can you believe that, skinny? But it would be one-on-one. But now, when people bully you, it's on blast. The whole world knows.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and that does absolutely take a toll. That does take a toll. You know what? Let's talk to Kawana on bullying from the White House to the schoolhouse. Good morning, Kawana.
Good morning, Zakiya. How are you?
I am so great right now because you're here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So, I know this is you have limited time, but I did want to chime in on a couple of things.
Yes.
One, I agree with Alicia. You know, it's not that bullying is new. I think there's a lot more visibility, which makes things a lot more humiliating, a lot more hurtful,
That's huge.
a lot more embarrassing, and it adds to a lot of the stresses that, to the point your guest was making, you know, carrying that as a child, even as an adult, because let's be real, bullying does happen in the workplace.
Oh, hello. That's right. Hello.
And you know, Black folks carry a different level of stress anyway. So we, you know, I feel like there's a different level. But I do have a 9-year-old child who, you know, we used to call it teasing. Like, oh, you know, you go to school, you get teased. But like I said, it's, you know, having looked up a lot of the definitions and a lot of information about what to do. I have to agree with Zakiya. It's, you know, it's a way to intimidate people. It's a way to exclude people. I think when we were growing up, you know, there was Mean Girls, and again, that happens
Still
even
have
at
them.
this age, right? Exactly. But the thing I'm hoping that you all get to is just how to talk to your children about it, and talking to teachers, not underestimating how much counselors for children and for ourselves can help. One of the things I try to do with my son, he's a quirky kid. And you know, when kids are young, some kids have, you know, some habits, or like some kids do things and they get teased. Some kids wear things and they get teased. But I think one of the keys is, or one of the ways we can help our children and ourselves is to actually talk to our children and make sure that they understand, first of all, that's bullying, number one, and not just to brush it off. If you have a child coming home saying, you know, well, so-and-so said this, and, you know, I didn't like it. They say it every day. You know, it's constant. Like, I don't know if I'm really saying anything, but I'm trying to say that, yeah, talking to kids is really important. And then, you know, if you notice that it's hurting their spirit, or if it's making them uncomfortable, or if you don't know how to tell them to combat it, they don't know how to combat it other than saying, you know, if somebody says something, you knock them out. That's not, you know, little Black kids will get sent to jail these days. You know what I'm saying? So we can't always say that. But yeah, talking to teachers, I'm hoping to hear some more about, what we do when, you know, bullying gets to this level.
Exactly. You know, that's why we have licensed family therapist Stephanie D. Miller on. What we're going to do when we come back from break is we're going to unpack how to have this bullying conversation. We're going to start with how you do it with your kids and their teachers, but we're going to include how to do it for yourself and in the workplace. Because everybody's getting bullied across the board, right, Kawana? And you help illuminate that as well. And so we're going to tackle this thing. Now, I can't tell you what to do about it in the White House because I don't want to be like on the list and can't fly or travel. But I can tell you what we can do for our kids and for ourselves when we come back to this break. Thank you for joining us, Kawana. When we come back, more on bullying from the White House to the schoolhouse. It's Zakiya Larry Live.
Hey, go refresh your coffee or send that quick email and come right back. There's more coming up next on Zakiya Larry Live.
Hi, this is Dr. Washington. You're listening to Synergy Radio, where it all comes together.
This is Yolanda Jones from intellect. When you're not able to watch us live on your mobile device, be sure to stay connected to Synergy Radio 1480 anywhere in Houston, in your house, in your office, or in your car by tuning into 1480 AM. Synergy Radio Network, where it all comes together.
If you have ever wondered how to get your brand on the top shows on TV, radio, even the hottest blogs, if you've wondered if you even need a publicist and if there's a way to do it yourself, if you've ever wondered how to get your own show or need someone to look over your materials to make sure your brand is ready for elevation, I've got the perfect solution. Sign up today for my Master of the Media monthly coaching call for all of the answers and more. Go to ZakiyaLarry.com/coaching today.
In the past year, KYND became one of the fastest growing radio stations in the country. Well, we've outgrown our old home and we're ready to take it to the next level.
We are now Synergy Radio.
More power.
All day, all night.
Wait, what?
Synergy Radio 1480, powered 24/7.
Can I tell you how excited we are?
We are powerful talk that inspires change.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do.
With transformational coaches ready to help you get to the next level.
You will find some things that speak to your soul.
Synergy Radio 1480 will continue to bring you all the voices you know and love.
Gotta have you here on the Yolanda Adams Morning Show.
This is Rashawn McDonald.
Welcome to the journey with Tiffany Smith.
Hello, my name is Les Brown. I'm Paris Ely.
We're your hosts, Tristan and Cece.
This is Oscar Hines.
Hey, it's Zakiya Larry Live.
This is Nicole R. Coleman.
Hey, and I'm Tasha Evans.
This is the reality check, Dr. D. Yvonne Young.
Welcome back to the show. I'd like to shout out our live studio audience once again.
Tune in every day, 1480 AM.
Are you ready for talk that inspires change?
Tune in to Synergy Radio
15:20 a.m.
Hey there, welcome back. We're talking bullying from the White House to the schoolhouse, and we've had folks call in and talk about bullying in the workplace and bullying with their kids. And so we have licensed family therapist Stephanie D. Miller here because October is National Bullying Awareness Month, and so we're really tackling this issue, and the phone lines are completely blowing up. If you want to weigh in, give us a call here at Synergy Radio at 832-230-5592. Now, Stephanie is going to give us some key tips to be able to talk to your child.
Yes.
If they are being bullied, you help them with what to say, how to cope. So parents, stay tuned. But before we get those tips, let's talk to a dad that we have on the line. Good morning. We've got Ty.
Hey, how are you?
I don't know. I'm awesome. I am doing so great. Thank you for giving us a call and for hanging in and being patient with us while we get through all these calls. Ty, what are your thoughts on bullying? Now, we've got the leader of the free world being called a bully. We have NFL players being called sons of bees, and now we have kids in school being what we used to call teased. Are we sensitive? What are your thoughts? Especially, I know that you're a father, right?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay.
On the lighter side of things, I think bullying is a part of being a father because, I do have girls, so the intimidation factor and all that plays a part in who I deem, good enough to date my girls.
Oh, so wait, so this is a new angle. This is a new angle here, sir. As a father, you utilize bullying to protect your girls.
Exactly.
Oh, and I know you're probably using that in jest, but you're saying you put these young men through the ringer when it comes to dating your daughter.
I have to, because I'm not going to let or will I tolerate any and everybody coming to my house.
Gotcha.
Period.
Well, how do you talk to your girls if they say, Dad, somebody's talking about me at school, it makes me feel bad about myself? Have you had that scenario?
I haven't had to deal with that because I've always taught my girls to be strong. I've always taught them who they are. I've always taught them to be strong-minded. So, and I value their opinions.
Gotcha.
So whenever someone approaches them outside of that line that I've already drawn for them, they pretty much self-check it themselves.
I like that, outside of that line that I've drawn from them. So being able to deal with bullying starts at home first, and it starts with your parents.
Does. I really think it. I think from my experience, the more you pour into your kids who they are, the more you pour into their values and how they see themselves. I think that it builds them up to a certain point that they defend themselves. Mine have defended themselves. The only phone calls I've received is, "Hey, come get your child because they have hit this one because this one tried to do something else to them."
Gotcha. But only if someone else escalated it with them.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Now that's taught.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that is taught. Yes, they have got to do something to you first. You can't initiate anything.
Absolutely. So boundaries, but yet self-protection.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. I love hearing that male perspective and that daddy perspective too.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ty, thank you so much for weighing in. We appreciate having you here. Thank you so much. Have a great morning. So if you are holding the line, please hold. We are going to make sure that we get to you.
Quickly.
Let's get these steps. Absolutely. Let's get these steps, Stephanie, on how to talk to your children about bullying and help them through it. What steps 1 and 2?
Okay, actually, he's 5 today. Jeremiah, my grandson, went to pre-K 4, and before he went, he asked me. He said, "Geesh, what do I do if there's a bully at school?"
Wow, so he's already aware at the age of 5.
Yeah, at the age of 5. And when I told him, first of all, I reminded him of who he was, and that he's a leader, and he's a thinker, and he's intelligent, and that he knows that he's the type of person that's caring and loving. So at the time that he went back to school, it was right after Harvey. So what I told him was, I said, "Jeremiah, sometimes people act out if they're hurting inside." I said, so be sensitive if someone is not as nice as you, that it may be that, they may have lost their home. So what I did is to teach him how to seek to understand what was going on. Then the next thing I told him, of course, is not to accept bad treatment from anyone. And he knows how to say no. Stop, that's not right, and we tell him not to pull the punches. And so the other thing that I told him is to go to the authority, go to the teacher, go to the principal, go to the aide. But what I've also done is, if you feel as though you're not believed, you're not heard, you're not validated, I said, then you say, "Yes, ma'am, yes, sir," and then you come tell me, your mother, or your grandfather, and we will take it from there. He knows that we always have his back, no matter what. So for him, I taught him who he is. Don't receive things that people say to him. Make sure that you talk to them, and then in a space like that where you're supposed to be safe at school, go to authority. But we know the reality of it is sometimes they get busy, sometimes they don't care. And the truth is sometimes there's some mean people in the school system. So if that's the case, then it's incumbent on us to go to speak for the child. So never let a child's spirit be broken.
Never let a child's spirit be broken. I think that is so powerful. My question is, I love that protocol. I love those steps. And so parents, I hope you're able to take notes here. My question is, at some point, that seems like a lot for a little kid to handle. What then is the conversation that you have with teachers and administrators? How do you approach the conversation with them if you suspect that your child is being bullied?
Well, you cut through the steps. And then, first of all, the best way to talk to anyone is not to talk with emotions, to talk with facts.
Okay.
So when you come to them, you said, I'm coming to you because there is a problem. My child came to me and said this. These are the facts that I have. Now, what are you going to do about it? Because this is not acceptable. And then you put that on them to tell you how they respond.
Now, do you put that in an email? Do you put it in writing to make sure you have a record of it in case you need to escalate it to maybe the principal and
I
then
think
even
you
the board?
need, nowadays you need to do both.
Okay.
Nowadays you need to do both. And I say that thinking, if you have a history of not being supported, sometimes you kind of need to go on a sneak attack, just show up and find out what's going on to look. Because, sometimes if they know that you're coming ahead of time, then, they could prepare and kind of whitewash and do things like that. So that leads me to, first of all, sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, it's on us to see what the culture and the climate is where we're sending our children.
Absolutely.
Because my oldest daughter went to a prestigious private school. That I pulled her out because of bullying. Because when it got to the point where she was in high school, middle school was okay, but high school a lot more competitive. And then we had a one-on-one with the head mistress, which I had a very candid conversation. And it was my decision to pull her out.
Gotcha. I love that you say a candid conversation. I use the term that I get from a good friend of mine, Sophia Nelson, courageous conversation.
Yes.
So when we come back, we're going to get on the line with Pat and pull in Karen, and then we're going to give you some workplace bullying tips, and maybe it'll help some of these NFL players too. We'll see. You are listening to Zakiya Larry Live.
Zakiya Larry Live. We are powerful talk that inspires change all day, all night.
This is Jolanda Jones from I'ma Tell It. When you're not able to watch us live on your mobile device, be sure to stay connected to Synergy Radio 1480 anywhere in Houston, in your house, in your office, or in your car by tuning into 1480 AM. Synergy Radio Network, where it all comes together.
If you have ever wondered how to get your brand on the top shows on TV, radio, even the hottest blogs, if you've wondered if you even need a publicist and if there's a way to do it yourself, if you've ever wondered how to get your own show or need someone to look over your materials to make sure your brand is ready for elevation, I've got the perfect solution. Sign up today for my Master of the Media monthly coaching call for all of the answers and more. Go to ZakiyaLarry.com/coaching today.
In the past year, KYND became one of the fastest growing radio stations in the country. Well, we've outgrown our old home and we're ready to take it to the next level.
We are now Synergy Radio.
More power.
All day, all night.
Wait, what?
Synergy Radio 1480, powered 24/7.
Can I tell you how excited we are?
We are powerful talk that inspires change.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do.
With transformational coaches ready to help you get to the next level.
You will find some things that speak to your soul.
Synergy Radio 1480 will continue to bring you all the voices you know and love.
Gotta have you here on the Yolanda Adams Morning Show.
This is Rashawn McDonald.
Welcome to the journey with Tiffany Smith.
Hello, my name is Les Brown. I'm Paris Ely.
We're your hosts, Tristan and Cece.
This is Oscar Hines.
Hey, it's Zakiya Larry Live.
This is Nicole R. Coleman.
Hey, and I'm Tasha Evans.
This is the reality check, Dr. D. Yvonne Young.
Welcome back to the show. I'd like to shout out our live studio audience once again.
Site at www.synergyradionetwork.com.
Hey, it's your elevation strategist, Zakiya Larry, and you're listening to Zakiya Larry Live on KYND 1520 AM.
Zakiya Larry Live in the building.
Hey, welcome back. We're talking bullying from the White House to the schoolhouse. Lots of folks have weighed in. We just did some tips on how to talk to your kids about bullying and even teachers and administration. We have on the line Miss Pat. Hello, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm so glad to be on the station. Thank you so much.
Well, you sound excited, so we're excited to have you.
I am indeed excited.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on bullying? Of course, a lot of people have said that we're not being overly sensitive. Now, tell us a little bit about your background and your experience with having seen bullying.
Okay, as a matter of fact, I am a retired teacher. So needless to say, I was right in the midst of what you would consider or what you would call the bullying age. I taught 7th and 8th grade.
Ooh, oh, my.
Yes.
Lord.
And even though I would like to talk about the bullying from the White House, I'm not going to even address that because that would take too many shows to address.
Oh, well.
But what I would like to address is bullying in the classroom.
Okay.
What I would do is, in my classroom, we would consider ourselves a family. And when you are a family, you protect each other. What I would tell my children is, anytime anybody in here is bullied, you protect that person. Not physically. You would tell whoever it is that's bullying that person, this is not what we do. We don't appreciate it. And you leave them alone.
I love it.
And that's all you say. You don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to get upset. You don't have to get angry. But you protect each other. And if we take that stance on bullying in the classroom, we protect our kids in the classroom. Then on the playground. And then it's a trickle-down effect. Then you start protecting each other. You don't allow anyone to bully your friends or your family.
And your family would be your classmates in this case.
Your family is your classmates.
Wow.
That's exactly right.
So you created a culture of no bullying in your classroom.
Yes.
Wow.
You have to make kids realize that if they were in that situation, they would want someone to stand up for them.
Yes.
And the only person can stand up for them is their classmates.
That's right.
Amazing. That is so powerful. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Spread the word. Tell them to spread the word, because sadly enough, all teachers nowadays don't do that. But that's what you should do.
I think that's another approach, is training teachers. So maybe that's something you can do, Miss Pat.
Maybe I can do that.
I think you can. And I learned a lot about standing up for myself and others from Miss Pat as well, because I had the opportunity to spend my whole life with this woman.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for calling, Mama.
Love you.
I love you more than life. Bye-bye. We have Karen on the line talking to us about bullying. Karen, good morning.
Good morning. I'm so happy that we're addressing this topic, but I'm really just sad that it is an issue that needs to be addressed. The fact that it even exists and continues to exist.
Absolutely.
And I come from a perspective of a son that was in high school that was bullied. And oftentimes people think that not responding to someone who's taunting you and teasing you is a sign of weakness, but it's a sign of great restraint to not put your hands on the person, especially when you are much bigger.
Oh, absolutely.
And the final time, the child started threatening him on Facebook, saying that I just might as well go ahead and kill you and just get it over with, those types of things. So that when he did put his hand in my son's face and pushed him, I don't know if it's cultural, I don't know, but our thing is, you better not start it, but you better finish it.
Indeed. And we heard that earlier from a father, yes.
Yes. So when he finished it, both children ended up being suspended. What I recognized in my numerous encounters with the school before I removed him from that school was that the school district valued its reputation in the community more than it looked after its children.
Wow.
And when people are relocating to a certain area because of the school reputation, and then for the covers to be pulled down where people can actually see what's going on, people get very defensive in the administration office. They get very defensive on the school property. And I recognize that. I'm a former public relations director for a Board of Ed. And as Stephanie said, you really have to recognize the culture and environment under which you are sending your children. and then you definitely have to back them up. So now my dilemma is knowing what is there. Should I still go back and readdress it again? Because there are still children in this school district that I know that are having problems, and the school still is not addressing it properly. My children are removed from the scenario and from the situation. But sometimes I think when you've seen something, you've seen it, be able to do something about
Absolutely. Karen, thank you so much for that perspective, and we're going to touch on that. Thank you so much for giving us a call. Let's go to Ed. Good morning. How are you, Ed?
Yes, I'm doing well. I'm always thoughtful.
Okay, talk to us.
Thanks for every day I get a chance to learn something else. One of the things I'm looking at this from my, I guess, psychosocial and spiritual standpoint.
Okay.
I look at things like what society has become, not realizing even the meaning of the first command, when he said, ultimately you shouldn't have any other king or other rule but his. And there's a reason why. Because you wind up succumbing to bullies or injustice unaware. There will always be many forms of injustice as a result of turning away from the direction of the one, and the end result is, again, people are, let's just say they follow evil, or deviate from a perfect state for not knowing or discerning fully what good is, or what is wholly right. I look at the idea about what, think about it, nobody's anointed to cherry pick the word of the Creator. But I see across society, all of society, from top to bottom, people in unawares conforming to those who establish status quo to predispose the mind to accept things of injustice.
And I am so glad you called and gave that perspective. Thank you so much for calling us here. So what I'm hearing that Ed is sharing is that there's a spiritual void affecting the mental, and that's trickling down into people just not treating each other right, and bullying is a part of that. Wow, that is so powerful. Guys, thank you for joining us on this show. This is obviously something we're going to need to unpack, because I want to go deeper into bullying in the workplace as well. Because, guys, we're going to have another show about this, Stephanie. Now, Stephanie, can you give us your closing thoughts on this particular subject?
Bullying. Yes, we've all grown up, most of us being teased, but nowadays there seems to be a prevalence of a culture that accepts people teasing, taunting, trying to hurt people, either verbally, physically, psychologically, spiritually, and through social media and in person. So from just what a lot of our callers have said, it starts at all ages, and anything grows in silence. Just like what Pat said. Pat said, hey, this is the culture that we have, a family, but we know a lot of people are not family oriented. But however, in this country, we see these silos, all of these factions and all of these groups. But when we don't speak up, we give the bully more power, and it grows.
Wow. If we don't speak up, we give the bully more power, and it grows. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Stephanie. That is so powerful. Continue to join the conversation on Facebook using hashtag ZL Live. We're going to talk about this throughout the day. And now let me leave you with your 1 minute elevate. We may have been talking about bullying from the White House to the schoolhouse, but here's what I know for sure. That at the end of the day, it's about your tribe and speaking into the people around you to empower them to know their value, to know their worth, and let them know that it's okay to exert who they are and their worth, because they are standing for something bigger than themselves. People are watching. And so in order to combat bullying, it starts up here in your mind. And it starts with the people next to you in their minds. And that trickle-down effect will help us to empower, protect each other, and do the same for ourselves. You can do it. You're worth it. And let's continue to do our week differently. You are with Zakiya Larry Live. See you next week.
I love this station. Injured on the job? For the past 3 decades, Orango Chiropractic Clinic has been treating patients who have been injured on the job